So I'm feeling a lot of gratitude here today. I want to issue a huge thank you to every single person watching this video here today. And I want to explain that. We'll get into that. We're going to talk some stocks in this video as well. But the overarching point is a big thank you I want to say to everybody out there. And usually I say, smash the thumbs up for me. But today, smash it for you guys because I appreciate each and every one of you. So Meta stock hit a new all-time high today. And this is where I want to start the video. It was a 52-week high also, but it was an all-time high for Meta stock. Absolutely incredible, right? What a run the stock has been on. It's the number one stock in the public account, and it's up to nearly a $700,000 position. So what a turnaround. This was a very difficult situation in 2022. I bought a lot of shares. I loaded up on this stock and bought, and I bought, and I bought. And it was a very tough situation at that particular time to be a buyer out there because I was getting absolutely wrecked in 2022. And then to be buying a stock actively and keep talking about it publicly when you're getting wrecked in the market and everybody's making fun of you and all those sorts of things, it's a very difficult decision. It's a much easier decision at that time to either go into hiding or a situation where you just buy whatever is the least tore up at that time, which maybe back in 2022 that would have been like oil and gas stocks or something like that. It's another to have enough conviction and belief in yourself at a time that you're getting destroyed publicly and your accounts to be making a buy like that, right? Now, the first lesson I think to be learned about this is how fast sentiment can shift, right? You go to 2022 in regards to just Meta stock specifically, the sentiment around that stock could not have been worse. It was at all-time lows, right? And you just fast forward, not even 2 years later, and the sentiment is a night and day difference, and all of a sudden the stock's at an all-time high, right? It goes from a 70% down stock that's just getting wrecked day after day, no one has anything positive to say about it, to suddenly everybody wants to own this stock, right? And it's on its way to 500 now at this point in time. It can happen that quickly in the market where things can go from extremely bearish to extremely bullish, and it can go from extremely bullish to extremely bearish. We've seen that over the past 4 years. You've seen several cycles now of extreme bearishness to bullishness to bullishness to bearishness happen very darn quickly, right? Now, confidence in myself, confidence in yourself. There's a lot of lessons that can be learned, and we're going to talk about other stocks in this video as well, but there's a lot of lessons to be learned, right? I never lost confidence in myself, despite getting absolutely just tore up in 2022, just being a horrible year. And not only that, having a really tough year financially in terms of just like, man, it just seemed like every day you open your portfolio and it's lower. And the market just goes lower, and it's just like, anything go right? And it just seemed like in 2022, nothing could go right, right? And then everybody was laughing at me. I mean, the amount of videos made on a daily basis about me, making fun of me and laughing at me and all those sorts of things. I kept confidence in myself throughout that whole situation, and that was not an easy situation. A lot of people wonder how I dealt with all that. Like, having such a tough year financially and then having everybody make fun of you, or what it seems like everybody make fun of you all at one time. How did I handle that? And I still don't really know. Like, I can't even really comprehend that because no one's, I don't think anybody, really on YouTube's ever really gone through that other than maybe one other person in terms of, in the finance space, in terms of just getting absolutely obliterated, made fun of day after day after day. And it's just unrelenting, right? And kept confidence in myself. And so if I kept confidence in myself in that whole situation, you can keep confidence in yourself in the future and make the decisions you want to make. Believe in yourself over what everybody else believes. Believe in yourself. Never doubt yourself. Once you doubt yourself, you've lost the whole game. Always have confidence in yourself. I want to thank everybody that stayed with me through that time. Those that chose not to mock me, make fun of me, and laugh at me, and chose to, stay believers of me, and those sorts of things, like, in that really tough time, like, thank you, because, not everybody did. And I saw it. I watched it all play out. And I saw who stayed with me. I saw who chose to join the other side and make fun of me and mock me and call me names and all those sorts of things day after day after day after day. I watched it all play out, man. And to those that chose, to go differently and to stay with me and all those sorts of things, I want to thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot because you could easily chose the other side and just to make fun of me and laugh at me to make yourself feel better and all those sorts of things. Now, next thing up here is there's a warning. Because in the next crash, they're going to laugh at me again. They're going to laugh at you again in the next crash. I guarantee you it's going to happen, okay? Focus on yourself. Focus on making the moves that are right for you in your portfolio and all those sorts of things, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to make fun of you. Oh, you're buying stocks. Oh, you were buying stocks last year. What an idiot. You shouldn't have been buying. Oh, you're buying stocks now. They keep crashing. Why are you buying? You're going to get made fun of by peers around you, friends, family members, people that find out, things like that, right? It's going to happen. Just understand it's there for a reason. It's there for a reason. I can't explain the reason to you, to be honest, but it will be there, and I promise you it will be there. And you will get made fun of. You will be questioned up and down. You know, they're going to call you an idiot. They're going to say you're dumb. You know, all those sorts of things. And they're going to look at you and talk trash behind your back. Like, it is what it is. Focus on yourself. Because at the end of this day, we all got a day in destiny, okay? We all got a day in destiny. And so at that day, nothing is going to have mattered in terms of you caring about other people's opinions and all those sorts of things. All that will have mattered is that you live the life you want to live and you made the best moves for you in your life. And that's it. That day in destiny is coming for us all someday. So keep that in mind, okay? Focus on you more than anything. To kind of prove this out, right? You know, every crash, people make fun of the people that were buying before the crash and are buying during the crash. But the truth is, the only suckers are the ones that do not buy and are not loading up on great companies before the crash, during the crash, after the crash. It's the truth. You go back to every single crash in the S&P 500 the past 50, 100 years, right? Go back to all the crashes that happened in your grandparents' day. Every single one of those was a massive buy the dip opportunity on great companies. You have to take advantage. The only suckers are the ones who choose not to buy. I mean, even if you were buying in the tech bubble, at peak tech bubble when the NASDAQ went to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, even then, you were still smart. And even if you were buying the NASDAQ as it crashed down to 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000, you were smart. And yet people made fun of those people. Oh, you bought in the tech bubble, you're buying after the crash, oh my gosh. They made fun of those people. Who were the suckers in the end? The ones that were laughing, sitting on the sidelines, pointing at everybody. They were the ones who lost. They were the ones who lost. And it's always been that way, and it always will be that way. And you got to keep that in mind. The number one lesson 2022 taught me, right, is never take your eye off the ball. In 2021, I definitely took my eye off the ball. I got caught up into a lot of projects. I was running an app. I was trying to be Mr. CEO, and I focused a lot less on investments, and it hurt me substantially because I made a lot of bad investment decisions in 2021 that came back to bite me in 2022. And so from there, you know, I had partnered channels with other people. That's so much freaking going on. It was ridiculous, right? And it's so many people trying to do stuff with me because we were coming off of that 2020 kind of time frame, and like viewership skyrocketed. Everybody wanted to partner with me. Everybody wanted to do this and do that. And I took my eye off the ball in 2021. There's no doubt about that. And the biggest lesson I learned from that is never take your eye off the ball. Always focus on your investments first and foremost, okay? And so the changes I made from there is I had to cut off relationships with certain people. I had to do it. You know, not always easy decisions, but I had to cut off, relationships with certain people. I got only the best people to work for me now. So only the best of the best. Everybody else that was okay, unfortunately they had to go bye-bye. And that was a tough decision to make. Because, sometimes, there's a friendship there and relationships and things like that. And but at the end of the day, I had to keep only the very best around me. And the very best goes for everybody. So if I outsource for anything, if I have to use lawyers for anything, I hire the best lawyers. Money's not even an object. I hire the very best lawyers. Anything I do, the very best or nothing now at this point in time. That way it allows me to stay focused on what I got to focus on, which is investing in stocks, looking into companies, because that's how I got this success, because of that ability to find great companies, make great investments. That's how all this happened. So the moment I take my eye off the ball, the moment I risk everything I ever built. And that's a great lesson I learned. 2021, took my eye off the ball, paid the price for that huge in 2022. So now everything I do is focused on making sure I'm making the right investment decisions for myself for the next many years. And the rest will be what the rest is going to be. But I can't ever take my eye off that ball. If I ever want to do another project or something like that, I have other people handle that 100% for me. And I could just be the brainchild behind it and tell them, here's what I want this, I want this, I want this. They handle that for me. I don't need to personally be Mr. CEO in the day-to-day. I don't have time for that. If I'm doing that, it takes my eye off of stocks. So anything I spend my time on is stocks. If I create a video for YouTube, it's talking about what? Stocks. Discussing stocks I'm investing into, my perspectives on the markets. It's all focused on stocks. When I took that Twitch deal last year, what was that focused on? Twitch. It was focused on stocks. It was a whole stock market show, all focused on stocks, looking into stocks, researching, keeping up with the news, all those sorts of things. Everything else will be everything else, okay? I hire the best people to handle that, and that's it. And I had to make a much tighter network in relation to everything. Like, my circle had to get a lot smaller. It got too big. I got too many people, too many influences around me, too many bad influences as well. And I had to cut off a lot of people, and I had to really tighten up my circle. And now the only people that are in my circle are the best, are the smartest, are the people that are going places in life. And, if certain people had to get cut off, I'm sorry. But that was what it was. I have to focus on me. It's my life. And, it was what it was. And if people didn't make the cut into that circle, it's simply because they weren't a quality enough person, or they just weren't to the level that they need to be in my little circle now at this point in time. And the rest is what the rest is. So that's the biggest thing I learned. And you got to adapt that for your own life. You're going to have people around you that, maybe you have known for years and things like that. Sometimes those people are going to hold you back from going to where you need to go in life, and you have to make tough decisions, and you have to cut off certain people, and you have to tighten up your circle. And there's nothing wrong with having a smaller circle. I'd much rather have 10 people that are the highest quality people in terms of everything they're up to, everything they're doing, their mindset, their mentality, their capabilities, all those sorts of things, than have 100 people. And a bunch of them are so-so people. Maybe don't have the best morals, best ethics, those sorts of things. I had to cut off business partnerships in 2022. I had to make a lot of decisions, a lot of tough decisions. And they had to be made because it was the best thing for me for the long term, to position myself for the long term and take away from all that other stuff, okay? Second thing that I really learned was to focus on myself and not on others, because jealousy and envy can be a hell of a thing to hold you back in life. I can tell you that much. And I'd done good most of my life with not being jealous of others or envious of others, but I can tell you definitely many years ago, I got caught up into some jealousy and some envy, and that led me down a very bad path because I was looking at what other people had, and I was thinking about the success they had, and I was thinking about how do I one-up them, and how do I pass this person, and this person shouldn't be ahead of me, I need to be ahead of them. And this is a losing game, folks. You're never going to be, there's only one richest person in the world. There's only one, right? So there's like a 99.9999% chance you're never going to win the game. Focus on yourself. Focus on what you're doing, what you're up to. Don't focus on what everybody else is doing. And for everybody out there that's watching us right now, you go on social media, I'm sure you do, and you might see your peers, friends, family members, acquaintances, random people posting this, posting that. At the end of the day, focus on you and your life. It doesn't matter what other people have or don't have. It matters what you have, and that you appreciate what you have, and you're going to where you want to go with. Don't get caught up into the comparison game, because it's a losing game. There's always going to be somebody out there better. And I showed you that picture of me back in college because one of the best lessons I ever learned in life was joining track. I joined track as a sprinter. I was not naturally actually a fast sprinter, believe it or not. And I made myself fast over the years. Now, how I did that was not by focusing on everybody else, because I was the slowest by far on the team when I first joined. I was slow as molasses compared to everybody. But I focused on myself day in and day out in this random thing of sprinting. And I made myself fast over time by putting in the work day in and day out, staying around people that were a lot better than me, not trying to compare myself to them in terms of like, oh, they're faster, and none of that. I got great worth from being the best me I could be and improving my times. Not trying to focus on, oh, I'm not as fast as that guy, so I suck. No, focus on myself. And I got so much value out of that. And that taught me such a great lesson in life. That focus on yourself, focus on where you're trying to go, meeting your goals, your expectations, not what other people are doing. Other people might have big advantages or disadvantages versus you. They might have certain capabilities you don't have, and that's okay. Be happy with what you're doing and what you're up to. And if you're putting in the work and you're making the best you can be, that's all that matters in the end. It's all that freaking matters in the end. The rest is going to be what the rest is going to be. And if you are number one, let's say you're the very best at whatever it is you do, even then, you should not really get a great feeling out of, I'm better than everybody. Even then, you should still be focused on you and trying to be the best you can be. Because as soon as you start to focus on the fact that I'm the king, I'm the number one, guess what? That's when you fall back down. So even then, you shouldn't be playing a comparison game. Even then, you should be focused on what you're doing, where you're going. Why are you looking behind you? You shouldn't be looking in the rearview mirror. If you're number one, don't look in the rearview mirror. Keep going forward. There's a great saying by Mayweather many years ago. I remember when Floyd Mayweather was number one boxer in the world. He always said, I'm number one. Why am I going to be looking in the mirror? I'm focused on me. That's what life's all about, folks, okay? Alrighty, so let's talk a few stocks here, okay? So Meta, obviously I brought up Meta just a moment ago. The great news for Meta is after this big move, after just hitting all-time highs, the stock is still undervalued, folks. It is still an undervalued asset. Not fairly valued, not overvalued, undervalued. That's a phenomenal thing with Meta. Stock's trading at a forward P of only 21 times 2024 estimates. Keep in mind, Meta could come in and smash those numbers, by the way, so it might be lower than that. But this is a company that should be growing revenues double digits. It's too low. For a double-digit grower like this that has a proven business model, they should not be trading this low. The stock is still undervalued. The stock's probably on its way to 500, and then after that, it's on its way to 1,000. So, it's just a whole process. And this first process is the get back. We just got back to new all-time highs. Great. Now it's about taking it to 500. Now it's about taking it to 1,000. And so I love that this stock's made this sort of run. And the fact that it's still undervalued is it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay. So do I have plans to sell Meta? The answer to that is heck no. Heck no. I don't even know when I sell Meta. It's so far from now. I don't even know when that is. I mean, literally, I can't even imagine that. Okay. PayPal. So PayPal is starting to move. It moved 6% here today, up $8,200 in the public count on this one here today. We just went positive on it in the public account as well. So now we are net positive on this stock, and that happened pretty quickly. It seemed like we went from very red to green pretty darn quickly. Now, there's 2,222 shares I own in the public account here. I also own shares in other portfolios. I also own some leaps on PayPal that I think expire in probably 2 years from now or so. So that's obviously a much smaller amount of money when it comes to leaps. The Patreon portfolio, I also own PayPal in. It's actually the biggest position in the Patreon portfolio when it comes to PayPal. And I have a better cost basis on this one. So now we're up 6.8% for PayPal overall. By the way, if you're interested in joining my Patreon, you certainly don't have to. But if you're interested in joining that, it will be a pinned comment down there today. You get access to see the moves I'm making in my Patreon portfolio each week. I deposit $250 in there and invest it each week. So it's to show people how to build a portfolio from a smaller amount of money, right? It's $25 to be part of that. If you want to be part of that, you get access to the Discord chat as well. This big tier here comes with the Become Master Stock Market course as well. So do keep that in mind. Now, in regards to PayPal, this is just since the interview. I mean, stock went up 15% like that quick. 15% like that. And it's not even showing any signs of slowing down. The PayPal CEO, Alex Chriss, has got to get out there a lot this year. He's got to go on CNBC. He's got to go on Bloomberg. He's got to go just about with anybody to speak about PayPal, their future, what he's up to, what they're doing, and all those sorts of things. This is a very important year for PayPal. And not a lot of people understand the story, what's going on here. And he's got to tell the story on what they're up to, what they're doing this year, how they're executing this game plan and all those sorts of things, because you got to understand a lot of big money watches the CNBCs and the Bloombergs. All the big money does, actually. You'd be surprised. all these guys that go on there are the same guys that are watching the program. And then they like to watch their buddies go on there and talk about this and talk about their views on the market and all this stuff. They all go on there. And so you got to get in front of those people. You got to get eyeballs to say, hey, we got a really successful business over here that is very undervalued. You might want to invest in it. Here's what we're up to. So important. And, the importance really hit me many years ago. Several years ago, Apple stock was having a really difficult time. And then it was shocking to me because the CEO, the big dog at Apple, Tim Cook, he went on Mad Money. And he didn't just do it once. He went several times on Mad Money with Cramer, the big dog at Apple. So here's the deal. If Apple's having trouble, right, with their stock and their story being told, and the big dog at Apple is willing to go on Cramer and talk about Apple and what they're up to in their business model, then dang, who are you to say you shouldn't go on Cramer or on CNBC in general and go talk about your business, what you're up to, what you got going on, if the big dog at Apple's willing to do it? So this is a great lesson, I think, for Alex Christ and other CEOs out there is if you got a story to tell, you better get out there and tell your dang story. Or somebody else is going to tell their story, and you're going to get bypassed, right? And as a CEO of a company, you have a fiduciary duty to your shareholders to make sure you're doing everything possible to make sure that business is a success, the stock is a success, and all those sorts of things, right? And as a board of directors, that's part of your job as well. So that means going on to the big publications and things like that and telling your story right here a bit, okay? So, yeah, if big dog at Apple does it, shoot, you better do it as well. Now, Shopify is making a sneaky big move. Shopify just hit $80 here today. This is a position I have in the Patreon portfolio. It's doing extremely well. And this stock is it's on the DL right now. It's not really getting any attention. It keeps moving. It's going to keep moving for years to go in the future. I think Shopify is probably going to be a $200-$300 stock long term. But this is a very under the radar mag, because everybody's focused on the Mag 7, right? Everybody's focused on NVIDIA, Tesla, Meta, Apple, Microsoft, those sorts of stocks, Google, right? Amazon, that's where everybody's focus is. But you have these other stocks that are not quite big enough to be those type Mag 7 stocks, but are making these incredible moves, and just I don't think enough people are paying attention to them. Shopify is a phenomenal company that's really turned their numbers around in this last, I would say, 6 to 12 months. And I think they're going to have a great 2024. And I don't think enough people are paying attention to what's going on in Shopify right now. And so it's kind of just making this sneaky move. You don't hear it talked about a lot on CNBC or other places because they're so focused on the Mag 7. Oh my gosh, if I had $1 for every time I heard Mag 7 on, the financial platforms for the last 7 months, holy smokes, I'd be the richest person in the world. It's ridiculous. And so Shopify is making a sneaky move. Other stocks like Palantir, sneaky moves, right? Palantir's up 139% in the past year. But it's Palantir's market cap's what, $30-40 billion? It's not a Mag 7, so a lot of people just aren't paying attention to it. It kind of goes in the DL. The only people that really paid heavy attention to Palantir are, for the most part, just retail. Retail investors will pay attention to Palantir, but for the most part, it goes kind of unnoticed from a lot of folks out there, right? We've started to get some traction with some of these folks, some of these analysts starting to pick up on Palantir, but man, sneaky moves. But just because the stock's not, being talked about doesn't mean it can't make an incredible move, right? Fubo, I know some people wanted me to talk about Fubo because Fubo's just, it's been asleep for the past 6 months. It had an incredible move, obviously, starting in the springtime of last year, all the way into the summer, where it went from like $1 to $3, which was a big move. But now the past 6 months has just been asleep, And what's going on here with Fubo? Well, a few things, okay? They just had this 2 days ago. They spoke at a growth conference. Now, I got to go ahead and I need to hear that. That happened 2 days ago. I have not got the chance to listen to it yet. I need to listen to it, hear everything they spoke about in that conference, because the good news with those conferences, sometimes information can kind of be leaked that, might give you some tells on how 2024 is looking, how maybe the quarter's looking and things like that. So I need to go ahead and dive into that. Now, the only people that usually listen to those are people that are super into that particular stock. So, like somebody like myself is going to listen to that. But a lot of other folks won't listen to that. And so, you can get a lot of good information. I remember Cirrus Logic back in the day. I got so much good good information. Matter of fact, with Cirrus Logic, which was an extremely successful investment for me years ago, I got more good knowledge from listening to the Cirrus Logic and Jason Rohde go to these conferences than I did from anything else. And I would listen to them talk, and they would get more into the nitty-gritty details on what they were doing in the chip space and new content opportunities with certain customers, which was usually Apple they were speaking about. And I would get more good intel from those than I would from the actual conference calls or from the actual earnings reports or from the 10K or anything like that. And that's what gave me so much confidence that I would know, oh, Cirrus Logic next year is likely going to get an extra $1 per iPhone sold, and be able to start running my numbers backwards and start figuring out, oh, roughly, kind of what's going on there. And I would beat Wall Street to Cirrus Logic several times that happened. And so that's all I'm saying. Like, these conferences, as a retail investor, if you care about a stock, make sure you listen to these things, because I'm telling you, you can get so much good data and intel. Now, when it comes to FUBO, what's really going to matter for this stock is earnings, not only this quarter, but over the next several quarters. And the reason being is we have a situation here where is it beats or is it misses, right? If the company comes in with beats over the next few quarters, this stock's going to keep moving. It's going to get out of the gulag. Out of the gulag means above $5. So, but they got to come in and beat and then guide good. So they got to come in, beat, then have guidance that is above kind of where Wall Street's at. If they can do that, this baby's going to be moving and grooving, and we'll get back out of the gulag this year. This year. Not like 5 years from now. Like, we'll get out of the gulag this year if FUBO can come in and beat. Because then everybody would be looking at it and saying, oh my gosh, this company's going to get closer to profitability faster than we anticipated. And they still got good revenue growth incoming, right? 20% plus is expected quarter in, quarter out for this company. So they got to come in and nail the beats. They do that, we're getting out of the gulag, baby. Okay. A lot, in my opinion, is going to come down to their advertising business. This is going to be heavy for if they come in with beats or misses for EPS and revenue over this next bit of time here. That advertising business is going to be so key. So Mag 7, my Mag 7, the public count's looking really, really good. Now, at this point in time, we just took PayPal green. Revolve, obviously, has had a really troubled 2023. That one can start coming back to life, and keyword is start coming back to life this year, in my opinion. But I really like where I'm positioned here. Obviously, Meta, Tesla, Amazon, Elf, PayPal, Palantir, Revolve. I'll take my 7 against anybody's 7 out there. I'll put it like that, okay? I'll take my team over everybody else's team. Appreciate y'all joining me as always. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being subscribed to the channel, folks. If you're looking to apply, join my private stock group, get access to all my best courses, take your investing game up to a much higher level, access to my 6- and 7-figure Discord chats, all those sorts of things. Check out the description area down there. You fill out an application. We could probably get you in there either this weekend maybe or next week, something like that. All right, guys, much love and have a great day.